Hey folks, I'm just going to do a quick little chat here on this whole Perez Hilton thing, and it's been on my mind quite a bit. I did a reading on it. If you want to check it out, go to my YouTube channel, wordofthewist.com. You can check it out because it doesn't settle right with me. This isn't even about what happened or what transpired during the course of that 30 plus minutes. What's bugging me is that these social platforms are always censoring, right? If you don't go with the narrative, you get locked out. But for some odd reason, they allowed this to play out for a really long time. And the question you have to ask is why? Why would they do that? Because you know they have tight controls over all this stuff. Yet for some reason, this instance was allowed to play for kids to see, for people who may be triggered to see. Interesting, right? But then when you think about what the government is doing and who Larry Ellison is, his ties with Israel, his ties with Trump, how they own all the media in the country, as far as the news is concerned, is what I understand. Billionaire, right? And what did he say? He says, we want censorship and surveillance. That's what he's pushing. He's the guy with Oracle, right? Who controls Oracle. And when you consider that and you start thinking about what transpired, it's almost like they're getting ready to say, if you don't have an ID online, then guess what? You're not getting online. And what's funny too, a lot of telcos, what they're doing now is they're working with something called ClearMe, terrible company. Why do I say it's terrible company? Is because a company I was working for on a contract was stating that you have to have this identification or to authenticate to get online. Now remember, I had clearance. So my background was already clean. I had complete clearance. And I was working with different agencies, all right? But yet for some reason, after Trump was elected, this telco who owns the backhaul or is tied into the backhaul, they used to own the backhaul, said that unless you have an ID, guess what? You can't get online. Even though I had a password, even though I was cleared, even though I had everything that you needed to be locked down in the enclave, they were pushing this clear.me thing. Be on the clear.me website said that by agreeing to using them as your ID, even if you leave the company, they don't have to delete your data. And then I found out from a friend of mine, he said he requested multiple times to have his data removed. And for whatever reason, they didn't. Now, that was about 6 months ago. Have they done it since? I don't know. But the point is, these corporations have way too much control. And for social media, to get online, you don't need a passport. You don't need an identification. That's for tracking and surveillance of scale. That's what the whole data centers are about as well. And they don't want you to know that. Because if they did, guess what? Things change. People get really pissed off. So they got to boil the frog slowly. But I think enough people waking up now, they're starting to see it. So this whole thing again with the Perez Hilton thing, to me, is a setup. Now, I'm not saying what he didn't happen. That's not the setup. What I'm saying is allowing it to happen the way they did is a setup. Because who was it? I can't remember the politician's name, but he said that never let a good crisis go to waste. And this is a crisis. They can't waste it. Next thing you know, lockdown. And the funny thing is with TikTok. Anyway, that's all I got, right? And if you do want to, a little plug for myself, want to learn tarot, wordofthewist.com, sign up, become a member, free or paid. And if you have a question in the political sphere or the cultural sphere, I have something called Last Ask the Cards. Just log into the portal, ask it, and we'll see what the cards have to say. Until next time, I want to see you all in my next little chat. All right. Bye, everybody. See ya.